All right, it's another installment of our student spotlights. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing Drew. Drew, could you please introduce yourself?
Hi there. My name is Drew Marien. I am a senior at the University of Arizona. I am in the computer science major with minors in Chinese language and classical studies. So, one things that are interesting about me, I am an Eagle Scout, and I am also a archer with the U of A archery team, and I'm on their competitive team. So, we go out and travel throughout the U.S., competing in different tournaments and I those are just some of the interesting things about me. I'm also a first and second place champion at the Arizona State Indoor Archery Tournament for the last couple of years.
You said you were an Eagle Scout. When did you get started with the Eagle Scout program?
So I got started in the Eagle Scout program in my hometown after moving around. I ended up in Parker, Colorado, and my dad is in the military and likes to teach a sense of just self-reliance and leadership. So we ended up finding a Boy Scout program near us and we started doing that. I was about 10 years old and I went all the way up till I was 18 and I luckily got my Eagle Scout. I finished my Eagle Scout project and all my paperwork about a couple weeks before my 18th birthday, and on your 18th birthday is when you can no longer do any of the ranks. So I was lucky enough to finish it. I had a really fun time doing a project that was really meaningful to me. My Eagle Scout project was I sent care packages to soldiers overseas, and that was something very meaningful to me. And it just taught me a lot of like leadership skills and self reliance. And I really enjoyed my time scouts in Parker. I was part of Troop 469.
So shout out
Sorry,
to
416. Yeah,
okay,
Troop 416.
there you go. Shout out to Troops 416 and that from Parker. You said Parker, Colorado.
Yes, Parker, Colorado.
Is that what you would define or consider your hometown?
That's where I would consider my hometown. But I grew up a little bit of everywhere, being that my dad was in the military, moved every 6 months to a year until I was about 8 years old.
Yeah, gotcha. So you've been in different parts of the country. You've probably had a variety of exposure to different, subject areas and different schooling. So what ultimately made you lean towards attending the University of Arizona?
So originally, I am from the state, and my dad is alumni from the university. So this kind of felt like a good way to have home, but still be far enough to be my own person. So originally, I was born here. All my extended family is here because family is super important to me. So I wanted to make sure I was around family. And so, but I wanted to kind of grow as a person. So I ended up choosing the U of A like my dad before me. And now I'm getting ready to graduate, and I've enjoyed every minute of it.
That's great news. It's always nice to hear of families that have instilled a love for a particular location as well as a higher institution. So it sounds like the Wildcats run in the family, the Wildcat family.
Oh, yeah, bear down.
Yeah, there you go. So what made you interested in computer science? Why did you decide to pursue computer science as a major?
For me, computer science, I chose it because I enjoy puzzles and problem solving. And that is the essence of computer science is breaking these unfathomable big problems and projects into tiny manageable pieces, finding the pieces that work together and building it up into something that works. So about 30 hours of work for the 5 seconds of it works, and I enjoy that 5 seconds, that rush of finishing a project and seeing something that I built come to fruition and do what I expect it to do. So that kind of puzzle mentality was something that fit really well in my repertoire, and I also was pretty good at math and the sciences. So ended up going down the computer science route and have loved every moment of it, and I've loved all the moments of my other minors, learning all the different things. And so I just really enjoy the learning aspect.
Sounds like it's a lot of logic-based thinking that you're particularly fond of, as well as understanding that it's not always necessarily about the product, but it's the journey as well. It sounds like you enjoy that 30 hours that it takes for you to get that 5 seconds of whatever, the final output. That sounds wonderful and an appropriate fit because I do hear that a lot about CS is a lot of work and you get that final solution and you're like, yes, you did something logical. That's great. So you've been in CS now for a while. You're getting ready to graduate, which is always an exciting time. Reflecting on your time here since you started as a first year student, what has been your most enjoyable things that you've done in the U of A computer science department?
Most enjoyable things. So there's been a lot of really fun group projects where not only did I get to push myself to try to make something very unique, but I got to meet a lot of really interesting people. One of my favorites that comes to mind is we actually built our own language, me and a group, based off of piggybacking on a system of Python, but writing it in C, but installing our own rules into a language. So we essentially built our own language with our own UI, own interpreter that did all of its tokenizing into this massive language that basically was a near full-fledged language. It only was really missing a couple of user commands on the Linux side, and then it could have been a very brute base language, but functional one. And so it was really cool just getting to make a language just like the original computer scientists would have been doing when computers were first coming around. And so getting to experience that has been some really fun things. Also, getting to meet a lot of really great people. I think the computer science, we all kind of bond together as we go through hard projects and we talk about late nights, and it really bonds and creates a close friendship. And so I've got to know a lot of great people throughout my CS career. And so probably the people and the interesting projects have been some of my best things that I reflect on. And then getting to do fun things around the university. I remember going to movie nights at on the mall when a couple friends after a late night of homework, or us all being burnt out after a test and going to IHOP at 2 in the morning after finals, because that was the only thing I would be open. So lots of great memories thinking back on my career here.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. It's those memories of the events in between classes that will sometimes last for a long, long time. And it's
Very
wonderful
much
to
so.
have those. And it's glad I'm happy that you were able to find your people, while you were in the program because that's so important for student success. And I'm glad that you found that connection with others. Now again that you're at the end of your undergraduate career, what what do you see as the future? What are your career goals? What's next?
For me, there's still a little bit of uncertainty. I'm trying to get into the next step, so I'm putting my resume out there. But if I could do anything, I love uh, things like cyber or back end development. And again, being from a military family, I have a wanting to help serve in different ways. And so part of me is thinking about maybe going into the military as an officer, following in my father's footsteps and working in the government cybersecurity world, as the Air Force has one of the best cyber programs in the United States, or even doing my own part for my country in a different way, being a civilian contractor, uh, maybe working with different companies like Raytheon. And those are kind of the aspects and hopes, but I'm more open to whatever comes next and am looking to get my foot into the door to a couple companies and hoping to hear back and just see that next step and hopefully work with something back end, because again, I feel back end's where all the puzzles are at. So I enjoy that aspect.
Yeah, it sounds like you've identified an area that you're particularly interested in, but you're also making yourself available to see what comes your way and are open to those opportunities, which is great. It's the way to be. And you have had a wonderful experience in CS. It also sounds like you've been heavily involved in other activities. You mentioned at the start that you were involved in the UA Wildcat Archery group. Tell us a little bit more about your experience on that team. First of all, like how did you find out about Wildcat Archery? What made you get involved in it? And what have been the things that you really enjoy about being on that team?
Oh yeah. So when it comes to Wildcat Archery, that is such a unique program. We are a very small, tight-knit group, and we're trying to expand. Um, and so I hope that this maybe might think of people who see this, hopefully might want to come and figure out, hey, didn't know that U of A had an archery program. Come down and see us. We love taking new archers. We love teaching you. We teach you from the base up, and you can even go on to compete in giant U.S. competitions. You can even compete against Olympians. I have personally shot against a couple of Olympians myself. They definitely beat my butt, but it was so much fun. But what got me started is I actually did archery as a young kid. Did compound shooting, really enjoyed it. I've always had kind of a knack for the shooting sports and enjoyed all of that. But I kind of lost that after high school. And then I went to Bash at the Rec, and I ended up finding that the U of A had an archery team. And so I thought I would go check it out. And of course, as I was there, I learned a new discipline. I started on recurve, started with bare bow, but then I saw all these people with the really cool, expensive bows, which would be the Olympic recurve style. And a dream, although maybe far fetched, but hopefully not. Maybe in the next 4 years, we'll see. Has always been to want to either be in the Olympics or go to the Olympics. And so I started picking up Olympic recurve, which is the only thing that is shown in archery in the Olympics, sadly, right now, even though there's so many unique divisions. There's barebow, there's traditional, there's compound. The only one that sadly gets its spotlight in the Olympics is Olympic recurve, where you have some of the most high-tech bows and great competitors from all around the world. And I was wanting to be one of those people. And so I started joining the team. I actually ended up becoming an officer at the U of A Wildcat Archery Group. And we started eventually creating a competition team. And I was one of the original members of that competition team, which is still going strong today. And ended up hosting a couple of local tournaments. We host our own state outdoor competition at Oro Valley, and just really have gotten to enjoy the close knit team as we've been growing. And I've seen archers come and go, and see our competition team each year grow a little bit more, people being more interested. I've really enjoyed that camaraderie, and it's been something so special. And it's such a fun thing getting to go out and to compete as we travel around, and we all kind of stick together. As we actually just got back from a competition in Phoenix at our very first USAT, which is a USA archery tournament, where they choose all Americans. They can choose people who shoot for the US team who will go on to the world stage and represent the US in world archery. And so the U of A just came back from that. We all had a great time. It was definitely some hard weather conditions, and we shot our best. And it's just something where we're all close. We're a little archery family, and it's really taught me different skills of patience, perseverance, and it's just been an all-around great time. And I look forward to competing in my last year, as I'll be heading out to Michigan right after finals to compete in the collegiate archery tournament, which is one that's only for colleges. All the colleges throughout the US come together, and we compete against each other. It's one of the best moments and best tournaments all year round. And this year it's hosted in Lansing, Michigan at Michigan State. And we'll be competing down there. And I'm hoping each year to see a bigger presence from the U of A down there as we get more and more archers, and hopefully grow this into a team such as Texas A&M, who are kind of the gold standard for USA archery teams for collegiate, as they have a lot of their members have been to the Olympics, compete on the US team, travel the world and do archery. We hope to one day just keep growing and be at a very high caliber and get to go to many competitions throughout the year, and just keep growing this Wildcat family of archers, where we can come, get away, learn a skill, and kind of leave school behind for a little bit and enjoy time on the range where there's only you and the target. We're all together as a team, but at the end of the day, it's all about you and execution.
That sounds like a great release in terms of, having that balance of extracurricular and curricular activities. And it sounds like you found that perfect fit for yourself. And the team building and the team camaraderie and community sounds like such an important, impactful piece to helping you as you go through your journey at the university. So it sounds like it's been a lot of benefits for you. What advice would you give to an incoming student that's going to be starting, let's say, next year, and they're interested in joining archery? They're interested in being an engaged undergraduate student. What advice would you give them?
So my advice if they're coming into the CS career field is A, don't hesitate to ask questions. This is one of the hardest majors for a reason. It is very different intuitive thinking, and it's going to be hard. Go to office hours, ask questions, be engaged in classes. That will help you far none that anything else can. And it really gets you to know your professors, and they really want to see you succeed, which is something very unique because sometimes professors are kind of going through the motions. I believe that at the CS department, all teachers really want to see you succeed and are willing to try to help you find that next step if you are willing to put in the work and start your projects early. And if you want to get into archery, come out, try it out. That's my biggest thing is showing up. Every day you show up, it might not be the best day. Me at this last tournament, I did not have a very good tournament. I did not shoot it nearly as much as a score as I would like, but it's all about showing up, getting the practice, and learning whatever you can from that day of practice or that tournament, and just keep persevering and try. There's so many different things. Maybe you'll try Olympic recurve like me, have aspirations to be in the Olympics. Or maybe you find that bear bow, that simple bow where it's just you, an arrow, nothing else, no sights, is very intuitive for you. And you find that. Try new things, get out there. The archers will help you. We're a very tight knit group. And again, they want to see you succeed. And if you put in the time, they'll put in all the effort to see you. And talk to the coaches. We have awesome coaches at the U of A that volunteer a lot of their time and have been amazing and helped us out through many different tournaments. And then if you want to be engaged, biggest thing, I would say go to Bash at the Rec. There's so many clubs, so many fun things to do at the U of A. Go around, look and see what appeals to you. I have so many different friends that do so many different things. I have friends in the Navigators, which is a group here on campus. And then I have friends in ultimate frisbee. I got friends in rugby. There's so many things, and you would never know about them if you never went to Bash at the Rec. So in the first couple weeks of each semester, there's going to be something either at the soccer field or on the mall. Go explore, find something that sounds interesting and try it. There's even clubs if you want to learn new languages. There's clubs for Mandarin, and I have been involved in those as well, as I've been speaking Chinese for many, many years. And there's great clubs for culture, language, fun things, hobbies, just about anything you can think of. There's probably a club for it here at the U of A. So go out, explore, and get involved. Find your thing, and that will be your release because school can get tough at times, is my best advice. So those are some things that I would tell an incoming freshman and that I wish I kind of knew at the beginning. Took me a little bit of time to figure these out, but after I did, I have never gone back.
Yeah, and I especially liked when you talked about, your recent competition that you felt like, well, maybe I didn't do quite as well as I normally do, but you got to persevere and look for the next one. I think that is so totally applicable for like everything, like your undergraduate curriculum, your undergraduate experience as a student. Sometimes courses don't go quite as planned, but you keep persevering through it. You try it again. You change things up. You evaluate what was the issue last time, and you try again. I think that perseverance is such an important thing. So thank you for sharing that advice, Drew. And it's wonderful. I do think that it's a very important aspect of being an undergraduate student is getting engaged and finding your people. And I'm so very happy that you were able to do that. And definitely take Drew's advice for those of you that are watching that are first year, first semester students, or even if you're a transfer student, find your people, find your support network. Drew, I want to thank you for doing the student spotlight. You've got a lot of wonderful experiences, it sounds like. I hope your competition in Michigan goes really, really well, and that you're able to continue the, you know, doing archery after you graduate, and maybe I don't know, is the Olympics still a goal of yours?
Oh yeah, it's definitely a goal of mine. And we got Olympics coming here in 2028. We will be hosting as the host country and we'll be in LA. I'm going to try my best and see where the dice may fall, but I'm going to try and I'm going to put my hat in the ring. And if not, I'm definitely going to go watch and support the friends that I've made on the US archery circuit and cheer them on to victory. And hopefully this year we can get the gold because we missed it just slightly in Paris by about 3 millimeters, is
Wow.
what decided the gold medal.
Wow. That's amazing. Well, good luck to you, Drew. And again, thank you for sharing your experience. It's been very insightful and very interesting to hear about all the things that you've been involved in.
Thank you, Martin. And I've loved sharing all this with you.